The new LinkedIn Hiring Pro can't clone you, but it can streamline your hiring workflow. From posting jobs to shortlisting candidates to interviewing, LinkedIn Hiring Pro is the hiring partner you need, so you can focus on connecting with the right talent. In fact, small businesses report saving over 6 hours per week. So hire right the first time with LinkedIn Hiring Pro. Post a free job today at linkedin.com/quality.
Tires matter. They're the only part of your vehicle that touches the road. Tread confidently with new tires from Tire Rack. Whether you're looking for expert recommendations or know exactly what you want, Tire Rack makes it easy. Fast, free shipping, free road hazard protection, and convenient installation options. Go to TireRack.com to see tire test results, tire ratings, and consumer reviews, and be sure to check out all the special offers. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.
Hello, darling.
Hello, mate. How are you, son?
Or magical, mate. You good?
I am magical.
Oh, yeah.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Filmmakers podcast. This is a podcast where we talk
filmmaking,
from indie film to studio films to high-end TV and
everything in between.
How to get them made, how to make them, and how to try not to
royally F them up.
In our very, very humble opinion. I'm Giles Alderson.
I'm Dom Lenoir.
And we have two very special guests on the show today. We have director and cinematographer Zak Fenning.
Hello. Hello, Giles. Hello, Dom.
Hello. And we have producer and actor Tony Cook.
Hello, guys.
Hello. Welcome to the show. Welcome back, Tony Cook. Second time.
I know. I'm surprised you've let me come back. I really appreciate it.
Well, we didn't let you come back. I think it was more force.
Yeah.
We had no choice.
He was at the door earlier with his heavy outfit on, and he was knocking.
And it was cold out. We took pity on him, brought him in. He just doesn't have the hair to keep warm.
We're delighted to sit and talk about their feature film, their debut as a company as well. It is called A Gangster's Life. It is out now. It has landed on Apple TV and it is out on Prime Video. Video? Do they still call it video?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Moving images.
Dom, that felt like you were 50% sure on that. And just went, that'll do.
I don't know.
You know, we actually had a standing podcast guest the other week. You know, we always do the sit down spiel. We actually had someone standing. I think it's like some sort of trendy, like new age of you know, let's keep posture good and stand while we workstation.
Who was
but
that?
Not on today's episode.
We're all sat down and we're all having the best of times. The best of times, the worst of times. The film's out, guys. How do you feel? This is exciting.
It's exciting to see it released. I watched it again last night.
Oh, it's the second time you've watched it?
Yeah, second time ever. I've never seen it before that.
Just at the premiere, which we had the other night at Genesis Cinema, which was fantastic. It was a really super night. We're all there. It's packed. It's a 500-seater and it was just wonderful, you know, for an indie film like this, micro-budget indie film, to get it out there, to get that many people there, to get the love and words coming back for you guys is just incredible. It's really cool.
And let's not forget Giles' very good cameo.
Again, to repeat this for Dom's benefit, I am not in the movie.
So there's a cameo where there's a very tall gentleman that has an excellent moustache,
which
in
is
the
exec
garden,
producer and producer
pummeling into this guy in a chair in the garden. It's very cinematic, and it looked like Giles.
Dom's enjoying himself.
It was really, really funny at the time.
Giles,
Which one did you think was Giles? Which one?
Murray, I think it was.
I think
he messaged me as well. He's like,
Murray.
that was my role.
I'd be generally worried that Dom's favourite part of it was a character being beaten up because they looked like you.
I just love the idea because Giles is a sort of a friendly northern gentleman. So the idea to explore his alter ego as henchman, I don't know, it's sort of a quite fun sort of imaginative exercise, I think.
Dom, if you like, I can send you my back catalogue of acting work where I played.
I would dream of seeing that. I would absolutely dream of seeing that.
Played some nasty characters. Like Buttons in the local phantom.
Yeah, like Prince Charming and Cinderella. He goes through a turn. He goes through a turn. Believe me.
He's proper hard by the end.
He is. By the end of it, he's having none of it. That slipper does fit. Get it on. Anyway, we're here not to talk about my illustrious acting career of pantomimes and tap dancing in shows, but to talk, we didn't talk about tap dancing, I did, but to talk about your excellent debut movie, A Gangster's Life. You know, huge congrats. It is great. It must feel amazing now. You know, it's taken, let's talk about how long it took to get this from idea to now release. When did you first start thinking about this?
I think it was actually when we met.
Me and you?
No, not you.
Oh, okay.
When did we meet? We met on the
Ferris
film.
wheel with the cotton candy together.
I love that.
Dom, I love that you were like, Tony, you're going to have to be careful on this pod, and everything else is
Mine are like light-hearted, fun ones.
That is the screen grab when Dom gets cancelled.
Yes, love it. So hang on, so you two, because I think Zach, we met a while back, but I think you two you'd met before that. Talk us through this sort of the idea, the plan here, setting up the company, etc., etc. It's a really inspiring story, I suppose.
Oh, I'm glad you're.
Well, no, I said I suppose. I don't know.
I don't know. Who knows? Give it time.
Hasn't been corroborated.
It's going to be one of these episodes, isn't it? Yeah, love it.
We met, I think, 2.5 years ago, and we were going to make a short film in Greece at the home of our associate producer.
I hope you had some paper
Sylvie.
towels.
Why? I'm going to have to ask.
In Greece.
Oh, Greece. Greasy.
Wow.
Giles, why did you ask?
I'm just going to write that one down.
I had to because I was like, we can't let that one go without asking the question of what he means.
Oh, look, he's made himself laugh so much he's had to take the jacket off.
It's holding up in here. It's holding up in here.
So you met. You were going to make a short film together. How did that come about? Why were you suddenly like, oh, we're making a short film together? Because Zach, you are a cinematographer. You made 10 to 20 short films and documentaries and series. Yes, very good. Yeah, all right. He's back in the room. Tony shaking his head. So obviously you'd done that. Was that how it came about through the cinematography? You were like, hey, you're going to direct the short?
Yeah. So I'd worked on a project called Fried before with my friend Rich Goss, and he was the one that introduced us, and we were all going to make a short film together. And me and Tony just went, well, short films, we could make a short film any day of the week. Why don't we make a feature? And we just went, fuck it, we'll do that. And it became a bit more businessy after that, rather than just fuck it. And we started.
Well, there was probably a lot of.
Can we just clarify that Tony's the only one so far who hasn't said something that needs to be beeped out?
Yes, this is unbelievable.
No, we've already had your pre-chat beep out. So
I'll beat myself. Whoops. We went from there, and we decided let's actually do a feature because we've all done shorts. We want to go into features. Why are we making a short to make a feature? Let's just make the feature.
Exactly.
And it would be exactly, and it'd be a big exercise for us in trying to get the funding done, getting the company running right, working out how to do it properly, and it just made sense. So why do the short when you can do the feature?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's something we talk about a lot on the pod. It's true. You can spend a long time and a lot of money on a short. Some people spend, up to 50k, if not more, on shorts. And that's fine. That's great. If that's your calling card or proof of concept. We're not saying don't do that. Saying if you've got a chance to make a feature.
There's a time to stop.
Yeah, there is. And it's, and that's sometimes the time. And the time for you guys was perfect. So did you have an idea at that stage, or were you just like, because Tony, I remember you coming to me and talking about Greece, and you were kind of like, not the paper, Dom, and how you were like, hey, I've got an opportunity here. I know people in Greece, and I know that we can potentially make something over there. Was Dom's
He's got the mental image now. Remember in Family Guy where there's like the guy that's covered in grease and they've got to run after him and catch him?
Greased up deaf guy. You're never gonna catch me.
Again, Tony's still not cut yet.
Yes, Tony is.
You know something's gone wrong when I'm the moral compass.
Yes, it's gone off the rails. That's amazing. So Tony, tell us about this sort of Greece option.
Dom, do you want to? No,
Greece.
he's good. He's stayed there.
I need to just get through Greece so we could just move on from Greece.
Yeah, how did you grease the wheels, Tony?
Unbelievable. Money. No, we had the opportunity to go out there because I've got some friends out there in the contacts to kind of go over and do a recce. And it was like 2 weeks after me and Zach had discussed it.
It was 2 weeks.
And did you know each other before? That was the first time you met?
No.
First time met.
Wow.
I think I'd seen you. I think I'd seen you in Cannes from a distance, stood on the beach, like waiting for me.
Top
And I'm like,
off.
I'll get you in a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'd heard him on the podcast as well, obviously, when he didn't get cancelled the first time around.
Strong headed work.
Thank you.
So hang on. So you've been talking. But you never met? Did you say?
Well, yeah,
We'd seen him.
We'd spoken a bit. Yeah, we'd spoken a bit before.
So this is like online sort of, why don't we do this sort of thing initially?
No, not even about
Not even
what we
that,
do.
no.
It was just talking in general about different bits and then because we'd been put in contact with someone else and then we met up. That's where the idea kind of went from there. And then my friend Maggie, who lives in Greece, she lives in Athens. I said, Zach, well, we need to go over and start looking at where we're going to film and logistically how we're actually going to do this. And then, it was about 2 weeks and then we were on a plane straight over there and I was dragging Zach to locations in the day and then nightclubs in the night. Because obviously they are key locations as well.
Obviously.
They don't feature in the film. They got cut. But we needed to check them out.
Yeah. Zach's keeping quite quiet at this point.
Yeah.
It was on one of the days when Maggie, who was hosting us place, she'd said, okay, well, we'll go out tonight. And I said, Zach, well, we've got to go out. She's hosting us. It's nice for her to do that. And she turned around to Zach and said, at midnight.
Wow.
I'm
Zach
asleep,
said, who goes
then.
out at midnight? That's...
They do things later. Yeah.
Was there Uzo?
Oh, yeah. Zach, do you want to fill them in on your first encounter with Maggie?
My first encounter with Maggie, yes. So as you guys know, if Tony travels anywhere, he dresses up. It doesn't matter if he's going to a bus stop or Greece, he will dress up very nicely.
I've seen him look-
I don't.
I've seen him look really lovely at many bus stops.
Yeah,
I'll be
yes.
honest.
Bus stops, street corners, all over the place.
But to be fair, Tony does look good. I mean,
He does. Yeah. So when I go on a plane, I wear a football top, some shorts. That's it. That's how I live my life. And I looked very scruffy. I had a long, horrible beard, everything.
Even now?
Even now. It was longer. It was really bad. So we finally, after a long travel, get to Maggie, and she shows up. Maggie's got quite a distinctive voice. So she said, Tony, you look amazing. You're so beautiful, so handsome. She turns to me. She goes, your friend will have to change.
Maggie is
which is almost like
girl.
which mirrors the film, doesn't it?
Yeah. Maggie is a beautiful girl, despite the accent and the voice Zach is doing. Does not look
that's
like
the
one
voice.
of the twins from Simpsons.
Yeah, my
I hit the
wife
figure
now.
out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yes, that's a good one. It's interesting. We were talking about this the other day on psychology, though. But like, how you dress does actually inform not only how others see you, but how you see yourself. So dressing up to the bus stop is very good.
Thank you.
It's very good.
See, why get on the bus when you can drive it, Tony?
Why get on it at all? There's other
Yes.
forms of transport.
You're implying that Tony's could be a bus driver, and that should be
Or a
his
bus.
career.
He's a dream.
He's dressing
He's a
up smart.
dreamer, Hudson. He's a
Yeah.
dreamer.
Do have it, yeah, Tony. At least you've got your dream. You
A
want to be
human
a
bus.
A human bus. Oh, wow. Okay, like a human centipede, but
Yeah, maybe not
Longer.
quite that far.
okay, good.
Beat for Giles.
Don't open the back door of the bus.
Yes, exactly. So at this point, just bringing it back to the story. At this point, have you got an idea? Have you got
No idea.
any kind of sort of structure of what the film could be, or are you literally going, let's find locations and then work out what our story is based on that?
Yeah, we had a rough idea. 'Cause we'd always thought, okay, the sexy beast angle of the villa, keep it fairly self-contained there.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the fully fledged idea, like Roy was working on the script while we were out there.
I see.
And yeah, we started working towards what we thought we'd need location-wise from there.
Right. Okay. So you'd got this basic idea. You knew you'd had a villa that you could shoot in. You knew you had Greece as a location. So you were working out your story based on that, which I think is a really good way to do it. You know, we talk a lot about on the pod of going out there and making a film, but if you've got locations you can use, whether that's a farm, whether that's your house, whether that's a football field, or whether it's a villa in Greece, it's kind of like, okay, well, that's a great location, a villa in Greece. Let's make the story or half of it around that so it makes sense. And what was your feeling then, Zach, when you got there, and what was your, you're now directing this as your debut as well. What was your mindset going? How were you thinking at that point?
I think the first few days were more tense for me because we had some scenes where we have an actor for a day and that's our only chance to get anything. Beyond that, we're done. So I was a bit stressy on the first few days. And then after that, got into it and started relaxing. Be like, oh, we're in a lovely, lovely villa and we can do anything and everything works. But it was always the worry of what's going to go wrong. Because I've done a lot of work filming abroad and normally things are fine, but it's live TV that I've done abroad. And it's a lot easier when stuff goes wrong because you go, well, that's gone wrong. That's fine. Roll with it. But on a film where you have lots of prep work and you need things to actually work, it's kind of tricky. And luckily, the owner of the villa, George, is at Videri Estate. He was helping us out like crazy. So we'd arranged all these different locations a few miles away, 20-minute drive away from the villa. And he said, oh, you need sheep? Next one has sheep. We will bring sheep in here. Like, okay. That's not his voice, by the way. I don't know why I talk like that.
No, but
yeah, I liked your impersonation earlier better of the villa owner.
Meggie one's accurate. Yeah, Meggie one's accurate.
How was it working with sheep, by the way? I mean, was that
in the
they
film
look pretty good on camera?
Yeah, the guy that's working with the sheep, Yorgos Koumandrakis, is actually a shepherd. The guy in the film, the big tall Greek guy with the big beard.
With the big beard, long hair.
So he came along with his own knife and knife sharpening set because he's ready to go, and he was just herding the sheep for us.
He had one in a headlock and dragged in and went, "You want this one?" It was literally like the movie. And me and Johnny just
done.
That man has an animal in a headlock, but the animal seems content. It was like, oh, fine, it is what it is.
Poor animals. But no, hopefully no animals were hurt in the making
No, they
of
were
this
not.
movie.
They were not
okay, good. So let's just bring it back a little bit in terms of it, because at this point you're not filming, you're just on the recce. So I've always found that I love doing recce's, but I'm also, you just never know, it could all fall apart. It might not happen, and you have this in the back of your head. You think, well, this could happen. At this point, obviously, you're still devising the script, devising the story. Did you know where your money was coming from? Did you know how you would do this at this point? Talk us through the actual plan of saying, hey, right, we're going to make a film. What happened next?
So I recently actually saw a podcast with Matthew McConaughey talking about this, and he was talking about Dallas Buyers Club, and his agent said to him, but you're not filming, there's no money, it's not happening. And it is exactly like he said. We set a date and we said, this is when we're filming. Because we need to tell people this is when we're filming. We need to be able to book people in and go from there. And we always had a belief, no matter what, we are going to get this made somehow. The money will come. Because also people see you and they believe what you're doing, and they can see the passion and the hard work. Because at the end of the day, it is a business. You do still need to show that you know what you're doing with routes to market and all the rest. And that's obviously where you were very helpful for us as well, Giles. So going through that whole process, I don't think there was ever a doubt with me and Zach that, yes, we are filming. This is when we're filming and we're doing it. But I don't think we ever had the discussion going, are we going to find the money? How's it going to happen? We'll just go.
That's so interesting, because I think it is that passion and that belief in anything that we do. As soon as we have that, things always happen. You set a date and people are like, oh, it is happening. Right, yeah, I'm free then. I'll make it work. Okay, cool. I'll happily jump on board this project. I think setting a date on anything is really, really valuable, even if you move it. But setting that date, like you say, Matthew McConaughey did and you guys did, it suddenly is like, no, we're shooting in October. This is when we're shooting. Did you have to, obviously, you couldn't shoot in peak season, though. So you're shooting, when did you shoot?
It was April. We shot the Greek side.
So it was literally a couple of months after you did the recce, then, right?
Yeah. It was very soon.
How did you say Matthew McConaughey?
Matthew McConaughey,
not Matthew McConaughey.
I always thought
we had Peter Mulan on.
We had Mulan on.
I've gone through hundreds of episodes of the podcast with Giles, and he's always said every name like completely normal in my mind. And then we had Peter Mulan. We had Matthew McConaughey.
I always thought it was McConaughey. Is it McConaughey?
I thought it was McConaughey. Which one is it?
McConaughey.
I won't share the story about how I slipped up with my own name in an email. That's one Giles knows about already.
Yes. Think of Tony Cook's name and how he could potentially get that wrong himself.
Yes. Excellent.
So, okay.
Yeah, carrying on. Sorry.
So carrying on with Matthew, we'll just call him Matt.
Yeah.
And the idea of setting a date and how important that is. So it's a couple of months later, you're now making a feature film, or certainly starting it. Did you shoot in Greece first? Did you do the Greece leg first?
It was the Greek leg first.
Yeah.
So we had the date set, and like you say, it's very important to tell people this is when we're shooting. So if you say, "Oh, I might be filming then," or maybe we're doing this, no one takes you seriously. So you have to tell them we are doing this, and that's what we did. We did that with people that were potentially going to invest. We said that with cast, with crew, and one by one, we got people saying, "Yeah, okay, I'm on board. I'm coming in." And the same thing happened with the money. So we had, I think, about half the money for Greece, maybe like 3 weeks before we went out, and then the other half came in about that time. So one investor had said to me, "Okay, I like what you've been doing so far. He'd known me for years, so we've worked on different projects together." And he said, "I'm going to fund the rest of Greece, and if I
Ship Pam.
like it and it goes well, I'll do the London leg as well."
Wow. At
But
that point,
Mm.
yeah, at that point, what had you presented? Had you presented some sort of budget decks? Had you done investment plans? How would you talk to your investor about raising that money?
Most of it was on the phone. So like I delivered the script and things like that as well. But in terms of how we were going about the business side, obviously we're still learning. So I'm being very honest and upfront and open about it all and saying, this is what we know so far. This is what we're learning. This is what we're trying to get to. But I just gave every bit of information we had. And it was about trust, because ultimately if someone's investing, they're not always investing in a product, they're investing in you. And if they believe in you and they trust that you've got their best interests at heart and you're going to deliver, that's a great start to a relationship. And that's how we got the money.
That's amazing.
It was that sincere voice, I think, that did it.
It was a good voice then you just did, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Zak does sincere, Tony does cheeky chappy, and together they've got...
I just say put the money in the bag.
Yeah.
yeah. Zach's doing all this sincere talk. Tony stood there behind with a gun. Literally, you're going to put the money in, right, lads? Yeah. And Zach said, "No, I did it from all my talking."
It was trust and love.
It's trust and love, and the belief of a date. No, of course not. Are you allowed to say? Me being the exec producer, are you allowed to say how much budget it was, or thereabouts? Or
it was under $1 million.
Yeah, great. There we go.
And how much of that was Giles' salary?
Now, this is something I've told Tony and Zach for a while. Is when you're selling a movie, and this is so right for so many indie filmmakers out there, is you don't necessarily tell them the exact price, because marketing, sales teams, etc. You tell them it was under $1 million, because you're not lying, and it could be anywhere between £1, £1, and all the way, zero. Some people are making bills of nothing, all the way up to 999,000.
Yeah, I mean, I'd sort of maybe have a caveat of that there's a sort of middle ground where the sales agent or distributor probably have to kind of buy the number. Otherwise, the problem is then they don't believe that the number you've said under $1 million is the number under $1 million, or if you're like sort of pushing like 998,000, and they're like, well, we think we can get, we think realistically this is like $500,000, but we could sell it to 600. They won't try past a certain point if they don't believe the number. So there's a nuance to that I feel like is a caveat with those sales conversations, not with general film conversations, but with sales and distribution. I think there has to be some slice of what will they realistically think it is.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to see the film and they're going to put a price on. Of course, they're going to know pretty much how much it was made for. However, you don't want to say, "Hey, we made this for 50K."
No.
Because they're going to say, "Oh, great, we only need to sell it for 75," and
exactly.
Those lads will be happy.
Especially if we said 50, our investors will go, "Excuse me, where's the rest of the money gone?"
Exactly. Yeah, go on.
One of the things that was quite interesting is obviously Giles had told us all this stuff before we got out to Cannes. We're up in Cannes with you. And then there was the day when me and Zach went to go and speak to my friends at Glasshouse distribution company from LA. They had their booth in the big market in there. So I went and see them, and no one was there. So I phoned them and I said, "Tone, we're currently stuck on a boat. We'll be back as soon as possible. Just hang tight." I was like, "All right, cool." So we sat down in their booth, just relaxing. Next thing, people started coming over to speak to us about their films, thinking we were Glasshouse.
Mm.
And obviously, being responsible, normal people,
Yep.
we pretended we were Glasshouse. We're like, well, all right, let's see what happens here. And the amount of the filmmakers who come over, and they would tell you exactly what their budget is.
Everything.
And I'm not even the distributor, and I'm sat there thinking, yeah, but I now know how much I can take, what kind of bit you'd be happy with, not to push and all the rest. And then as we were there for a good couple of hours.
It was a while,
and then a buyer from India came over.
Ram.
And he came over, and me and Zak sat there, and he went, oh, I'm one of your buyers from India. I'd like to buy some movies. And that was the moment where we went, oh, this is a big thing now. We both looked at each other. Zak got in the cupboard, started bringing out posters, and we're like, let's go.
I was looking around going, we've got this one.
Yeah.
We've got this one. This one is a bit of you.
And you said, look, don't throw stones in glass houses.
Oh, dear.
Did you hold on to that?
And then,
since he said Glasshouse.
Yeah. I was looking at the right moment.
And then we sold 4 films to him.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's impressive.
And all for £10.
Exactly. £10 for all 4. Deal. Shook his hand, signed a bit
well
of
done.
paper.
Well done.
That's
That's a great exercise in being adaptable, flexibility, assuming a role. I mean, there's some good traits in assuming that identity for that little thing.
I think everyone in this industry, exactly. Everyone in this industry at some point just has to back themselves in whatever they're doing and just do it. Because you're going to have so many people. It's that whole scale, isn't it? Where people turn around and go, oh, you're not going to do it. Then they see you doing it and they say, well, how did you do that?
Yeah. Yeah, and it makes such a big difference. And your cast as well, I have to talk about that, because obviously you've got Jonny Weldon and Dua Lipa's sister, Rina Lipa, in this movie. And obviously that's her debut in the movie. How did you go about getting your cast as well? It really is, it's just great, for an indie film like this. I know Tony obviously been in Dune 2, and you've been in You on Netflix as well. So you've got that behind you now, you're producing as well. And Zak, obviously you've made lots of bits and pieces, but as a debut movie, people sometimes go, oh, I'm not sure. How did you get your cast? How did you speak to them?
Well, for a lot of the cast, we went through our casting directors, Emma Sylvester and Matt Shepard, who I think Tony linked us up with. And they had phenomenal suggestions for everyone. But Jonny, we knew through the previous film, American Road Trip. So we were able to speak to him more directly and get Jonny on board. And he was one of those cornerstone people who said, if we can get this character, this actor right, then we can build around that. And it was just about seeing the suggestions, going through the tapes, talking to the casting directors and getting their opinion, because they're not just putting names in front of you, they're giving you ideas and reasonings behind what they're doing, because they read the script and they understand the characters, and they bring a lot more to it than just going, here's a name.
Yeah, we learned a lot from them as well. Even just structuring contracts with them, how to work days to save money, because that did help with cast, is having really credible casting team on, because Matt and Emma have just done amazing stuff. Emma used to do a lot for the BBC. Matt's been involved with things like Boiling Point. There's so much credibility to that when they open doors to agents, it's a lot of conversation we're probably not going to be able to have. But yeah, we had Jonny on from Something Before, like the American Road Trip movie. And we just kind of had a great chemistry together. He'd worked with Zak, because Zak was DOP on that. So it made it a lot easier to transition in. But the only bit that got me is I said to Jonny before we went, there's swimming pool scenes and all the rest. He goes, Tone, I'm not sure about doing the swimming pool bit. We get there. He pulls off his top. He's got abs. I was like,
absolutely
sorry.
Ripped.
He did me dirty. I was expecting to be there going, look all right. And then he just pops up like that. I was like, can we put a vest on him, please? Can we keep him covered up?
The producer.
Tony has to be the centre of all glamour and attention.
Chest releasing information. Yeah,
there's an interesting. There is something I think's worth mentioning at the casting point, and also you get in this made as well. When you can offer something that's exotic, a lovely place like Greece, it adds production value, and I think it also does. If people are on the fence about, I'm not sure if I want to do this sort of independent film, I'm not sure I want to do this, but there is a trip to somewhere that's like, I'm going to Greece to shoot a movie, like that really can add a lot to your movie and really like help incentivize people in a non-financial way. And sometimes the production costs out there are infinitely cheaper than they would be over here, like, you know, getting the food and the accommodation and, you know, all that kind of thing. So it's always worth looking at places outside of your, you know, somewhere in England where it's raining.
Yeah, there was definitely a perk to being over there. There was a moment when we first arrived in Greece where we'd arranged catering with a local company there, incredible food. And there was a language miscommunication at one point. And we thought they were charging for the entire shoot every day. And so we got Christina, who's plays Thea in the movie, and she translated for us and basically just saved a mini heart attack for all of us.
Right.
Right.
So you didn't go with that catering company?
No, we did.
You
did?
Okay.
Okay.
Just misinterpreted some of the stuff they'd said.
Okay.
And
but it was decent pricing, I'm guessing, overall, like per heads and then like
really good. Yeah, you'd never get that over here. Amazing. Everything fresh, lovely.
The vegan options.
Perfect.
Yes.
That's what you want. No animals were hurt.
Giles'
in terms of
cameo.
Absolutely, my cameo. In terms of so then you shot over in Greece, which you'd done first. You brought that back, Zach. Did you then start editing and then go, right, now we can think about how we're going to do the London side, the UK side of it? And did that change the script based on what you'd shot? Did you adapt somehow?
I think while we were out in Greece, every night I would put the rushes on the computer and just grab some stills, but I wouldn't edit bits. The only thing I edited out there was Macho Alante, the scene at the very end of the film.
Right.
And then when we got back, there was a little bit of a gap before the next leg of filming, so most of that was prep time. I don't think we actually did too much editing before then.
Okay.
I think the editing came pretty solidly after the London leg. But in terms of the changes, I think some of the casting from before Greece, we had, I think, one person in a different role who dropped out kind of last minute, and that changed some of the story for us because we needed someone in Greece that wasn't going to be there very shortly before filming. So that you'll notice things in the film in the first leg that get set up and then don't pay off because we have that big casting change. And when you're doing stuff abroad, you have a lot of things you need to set that take time. You can't just go over. So changing cast last minute can be very difficult. But I'd say that was probably our biggest change from Greece to London, was some of the payoff to the setup.
I like the way
in the setup.
So the bit when I'm running out in the boxer shorts to
Power
check
dials.
the power dials outside.
Yes,
that was actually going to be a scene where one of the people in the UK come over, and to help us, they flick the power off during the final scene. But I like the way earlier when Zach was saying how stressed he was at the being out there. You would never have known. There was never a point where we looked to him and he's stressed. He would literally do the entire shoot and go upstairs, put all this stuff in, when everyone else is sat there having fun, relaxing, and then he'd come back down afterwards.
Just in the pool, Tony. So yeah, I imagine Zach was upstairs going, what?
We're not going to talk about the pictures we send each other, Giles.
I think it's true though, isn't it? As a director, you do have to sort of give off this swan-like energy where, you know, you're looking, gliding across the surface, but your legs are flapping away, going crazy. It's inside your head. And I think it needs to be that. If you're flapping and going crazy, then everyone else will sort of around you go, oh God, they haven't got a handle on this. Someone needs to be in charge and in control, and they've got to look like they're in charge and in control. If you're losing your shit, everyone else is going to go, oh no.
I've been on a lot of sets as DOP where the director is going nuts and it just doesn't help. And that's partly why I wanted to make the switch from DOP to directing, because I'm that calm person that will get things done. And also I learned a lot from Matt McCallum, who runs some of the scale motorsport stuff that I've filmed. He is like the most serene person. That the event could be on fire and he'd be there like, okay, cool, let's switch to camera one.
Okay, there's a limit to how calm you should be. If it's on fire,
the
grab
serial
a
killer levels.
That's the man that started the fire.
The other camera people are going, hang on a minute, why am I still getting this shot?
Tony's a light.
Oh,
this is great stuff, guys. Keep filming.
Yeah, exactly. This is gold. This is literally. But no, it's true. You do need that calm presence in the leadership roles. And Tony, for you then, juggling the producing producing and the shooting, because it's technically just the two of you. Obviously, you've got an amazing team around you, and it was quite a small team out in Greece as well, right? I mean, how many people in total, like crew-wise, not your actors? 6?
5, 6.
Yeah, Jazz and
See, we
you're all
were
Dublin
very
Ash
lucky.
as well.
Kyle.
Yeah, because they're very good at what they do. To the speed, Jazz, our head of makeup and hair, obviously not hair so much for me, but just head of makeup. But the speed
There is no
that
head of
she
that.
can, yeah, exactly. I'm just aerodynamic, but
Aerodynamic.
the speed oh my god,
It's on a roll.
Is he?
Don't encourage him.
It was good to be
But it literally, she'd just get everything done. Like the makeup at the end, the speed that she left Iris in the makeup, she got us in the makeup at the end. I don't want to put any spoilers out, but stuff that happens at the end there. And then Cal was a one-man band, but Ash as well, the focus puller. So there was a bit when I was launching the chair into the water. I hadn't really said when I was going to do it, and another bit was putting the knife into the table. Just the ability for him to capture what he needed to, just like that. I was like, this man's incredible. I was like, can we keep him forever?
Ash is insanely good at everything. When you told me you were going to throw the chair, I just said to Ash, something's going to happen. Just follow it.
Right.
That's all he needs.
Yeah, I love that though, when you can be that free with your crew, when you can just say, look, just I don't mind if it goes out of focus a little bit. I really don't. It's about the emotion and capturing the thing rather than it being, let's go get that perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to feel real.
Starting a business can seem like a daunting task, unless you have a partner like Shopify. They have the tools you need to start and grow your business. From designing a website to marketing to selling and beyond, Shopify can help with everything you need. There's a reason millions of companies like Mattel, Heinz, and Allbirds continue to trust and use them. With Shopify on your side, turn your big business idea into... Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/special offer.
Whether it's a movie night or just midday, Skinny Pop is a salty snack that keeps on giving. Made with just 3 simple ingredients for an irresistibly delicious taste and a large serving size that lasts. Deliciously popped, perfectly salted. Skinny Pop, popular for a reason. Shop Skinny Pop now.
We gather here tonight to bring women back to their rightful place.
The Testaments, a new Hulu original series from the executive producers of The Handmaid's Tale.
It's easier to accept a story than believe that the people around you are monsters.
The battle isn't over.
There comes a time when you have to take action, when you have to choose your own destiny.
Never quite as it seems.
Watch the new Hulu original series, The Testaments, streaming on Hulu and Hulu on Disney Plus for bundle subscribers. Terms apply.
Also, there's no egos on set other than mine. So
cool.
It was,
I was going to say,
you had people. You had like Murray, who's our executive producer on it, and he was just anything you needed. He was literally just a machine. He'd just get it done. Like I'd walk into the room and there'd just be the sides and the call sheets for the next day. Everything, and that is no different to working on a studio film. That is exactly what you're expecting for that. You go into the trailer, your side's there, you go back to hotel, it's there. Murray had that down. He was doing all of that and then some on the set.
Yeah,
I love that.
It's true that there's kind of, I think it's almost like unsung heroes, because there's the sort of creative overarching people, and sometimes they need a bit of space to think, and they need the sort of the big picture stuff, and they're on the, what's this scene about? How am I getting into this? Mental processes and all that. But there's all the minutiae detail when people are tired and you've got the next day to think of, and as a director you want to like zone out and focus on the specific thing at hand. And if those little things don't get done, it soon sort of falls apart. And there's a lot of willpower and commitment in a lot of those admin type roles that keep things rolling day to day on set.
100%.
Yeah, it's really important, massively. And so you're all juggling those type of things, and your crew there are, like I say, your backbone, and you're all in it together. Obviously you paid them. So how did you know to set this up? Just talk about your structuring of the actual budgeting and saying, hey, this is what we're doing. Just talk us through you guys as producers of managing that side of it.
Did you pay the the Greek crew in Farm Animals, or what was the? Is it Real Money?
Giles was
money.
generally traumatized. You sold animals to them. No, we paid them in real money.
Yeah,
we thought it'd be the nice thing to do.
Yeah,
yeah. We it's one of the things we've said from the beginning that it should be fair across the board, because everyone, if you're in front of the camera, you usually get the credit, and they're like, "Oh, here's some more. Thanks for doing this," and all the rest. If you're behind, a lot of time you're doing a lot more of the work.
Yeah.
So it's me and Zak have already said, from there we're going to pay people as well as we can, and then on the next one, all the people that are with us as well, we want it as a floating scale. As we go up, they go up, because otherwise we're literally running off of their backs and going, "Oh, we're now doing a studio film thanks to Giles and the links there." It would be just immoral to go, "Okay, now we're going to leave you lot behind and move on."
Yeah, which is nice. Go on, Zach.
I was going to say, from the first leg to the second leg, there was a slight difference as well, because I've been on shoots before where someone will say, "Oh, we'll make it better in the next one," and the next one never happens. So I said to the crew that were with us that carried over, "I'm going to make sure I pay you a little bit more on the next leg, so I'm going to step it up." So I just paid myself less and paid them more, and it's like proving to them and saying, "Look, we are actually doing this. We're going to make sure that you're looked after properly." And the crew really appreciated it. And that's how you, I think, should build industry-wise, and say, "Look, we want to all go up together. There's no point us making it and then leaving everyone else behind. Let's all go together."
It's one of the things we've been talking about quite a lot as we kind of move into the next one and where we're going. I saw Robin Williams, one of the things he used to do, it was in his contract to hire homeless people onto the productions. And obviously, after speaking to Yariv at New Boyana and how much he helped the people fleeing the war in Ukraine, there is generally a thing of, okay, this is an industry where people have access to a lot of money. There's also a lot of jobs that people could do. So why not try to help people where you can?
No, so good. It's kind of what Ben Affleck and Matt Damon have done, literally, and it's been all over the news with their amazing new film, The Rip. The fact that if the film does well, all the crew get a piece of that.
Yeah.
And it's so nice. It's kind of like, yeah, sure, why doesn't this happen more often? And I get it. Look, the producers, especially on any films, are putting their necks out. They are doing all the work, and people think producers have lots of money and producers have this, that, and the other, but they're the ones working on the thing for 2-3 years, and they're getting peanuts for that if you look at it as an overall whole, which is why a lot of producers do lots of films to try and hope that one breaks out. And if they do, yeah, they deserve that. But with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon and their company, they're already in that position. So I love what they did. And I think if we can do that more with companies like Netflix and Amazon and Apple, where it's a profit share within the company, that's a really nice thing. If we do well, you should do well, right? You know, and it's Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, if they've got plenty, they're all right.
So they're doing okay.
They're doing okay. Okay. So on that though, because your budget is small, below $1 million. So what were the things you had to cut corners on? What were the things where, because obviously now you've got to really be clear about who you need, what you might need, and obviously you're all doing a lot of jobs. Where do you feel? And this is for the indie filmmakers out there who are going, "Hey, we could go do this with a 6-man crew." What was missing? What were the areas where you went, "God, we could really done with
competent."
Well, I think we all took on multiple roles. So we didn't have a gaffer or a spark. I was kind of just running around doing that.
Wow.
And out in Greece, I'm pretty sure that's where I ruined my leg. And then it got worse and worse. I was doing all that. And in London, just kind of hobbling around with a brace on all the time. But I think having the people to help just on some of the fundamental things that you need, the heads of department, don't take on those roles yourself if you can afford not to. Because
who did you miss most? Like if there was like 2 crew members, what was
Gaffer,
that? Gaffer and who else?
Yeah,
I like maybe someone like a second AD or a first AD.
Probably second AC, I think.
Second AC, okay.
Yeah, because Ash was doing a lot of work on that front. He was doing several departments' work on his own.
I would have liked to scripty.
Yeah, I was going to say that's interesting how you're both on set there in terms of no production manager or a second where they're behind the scenes making sure the management of the next day. And
that was
shoots.
Murray literally.
He's smashing that.
Yeah.
Right.
Just so for granted, Beth.
Yeah, maybe you took him for granted. He's done really well. But it is interesting.
That garden scene wasn't acting.
Exactly. But without crew on set, suddenly you're the person, you're running around. I remember certainly when I was making shorts, when I first started making documentaries, it's just me and Andy, or even certainly with Food for Thought, it's just me and Dan, and we're running around doing everything. And it's really tricky because your brain then can't focus on the thing at hand. With a documentary, it was a little easier. I didn't have to worry about acting. Once the cameras are rolling, just speak, let's see what comes out. But on a film, you have to get those magic moments. And if now someone has to fall in a pool or there's something happen, you've now got to dry them off, take what you're shooting in between, and your brain can't think sometimes because there's so much other stuff because you're thinking about lunch. How does that get there to there? How do we get to the next location? And as a director, you don't want to do that. You want your production manager and your team to do that. So it's interesting. You said, I'd prefer a gaffer. I'd prefer, a second AC.
Well, there was a trade-off. So where I've come from doing a lot of low-budget short films, we'll shoot 6 pages a day and we'll just smash through things, and it'll be 6 pages a day with me as the only crew member sometimes. So I kind of know how to juggle a lot of that, but that wasn't what I wanted to do on this because it needs to be a higher level. So we did 4.5 pages a day, and I knew where we could save time and money, and one of it was being very tripod-based. Because if we're moving around a lot and we're doing some gimbal work and all these fancy shots, one, they might not aid the story at all. They might look fancy, but they're not doing anything. And two, it's taking the ability of me or Ash away to do the other 10 jobs we're doing. So if we had people in those departments, we could focus a bit more. But I kind of knew that was my trade-off, would be a bit tripod-y to get away with the lower crew, but you have to with the budget.
I see. How many takes did you do then during, was it kind of like, let's do this? Did you rehearse before?
No, we rehearsed. Yeah, we did rehearse. I think the biggest example is there's a really long shot in Greece where Tony ends up in the pool, and it's just a one-hour. And I think it goes on for about 3 minutes. So we set that up like a stage play, that particular scene, and we rehearsed it a few times, but not too many because some of the actors they get worn out or it's not as fresh when they do it.
Tony gets wet each time. He's like, I don't like this. Yeah.
We'd stop it before he went in. So anything after that, not rehearsed. So we did 3 takes of that. The first take, I had to yell stop just before they threw Tony in because there was an early mistake. Second take was kind of similar, but I wasn't feeling it. And third take, I just let it roll. But that was maybe 20 minutes to get that 3-minute scene done. So again, it's another element of here's where you can save some time, and it kind of plays nicely with the environment because sometimes I was going to say sometimes in a scene I might want the camera where the pool is, and that's not going to work. So well, let's keep it over here.
Unless you go in the pool yourself. Was
it tempted to throw Tony in multiple times?
The temptation to hurt Tony was real, and it came to fruition in London.
Hurt.
I'm still here, right?
No, I have a quick question on your framing is really interesting, Tony. I feel like you're drawing attention to the London town map to your side.
You're talking about the zoom now behind.
Here's one up
the zoom behind him. Yeah,
right, okay,
very nice. Thank you.
You interrupted Zach.
I
did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, there's a scene quite early on in the film with Stevie, Tony, Sasha, and Jonny outside the beautiful quarter cabin that we're using, and Stevie slaps Tony across the face, just gives him a little slap on the cheek, and we did that at least 10 times. So the bits
great
you see,
outtakes of that.
Yeah, that was not even half the outtakes we did of that scene. There was so many, and I was laughing too much. Like, no one else is going to find this funny, seeing Tony getting hit in the face constantly.
Oh, the whole
everyone loved it.
Everyone's
best bit of the film.
He's getting hit. Tony's getting hit again. He's getting hit. Tony, what about yourself? Like juggling the sort of, you've like massive studio films you mentioned earlier in Dune 2, and then you've kind of not far off the back of Dune 2, I think, went to this set anyway. So what is the difference sort of for you from being looked after, being on a huge set like that with over 200 crew, to being on this set with 6 crew?
Money, lots of money. No, the studio ones are great, and it is an amazing experience. And you pinch yourself when you're first starting out, and you're going, okay, that's where I want to be. And when you get there, you think this is incredible. But there is a real passion also just making things with your friends. You've got a lot more freedom to try to play, and I feel like you can deliver more with that because there is the safety net of, okay, I'm with my friends, this is what we're doing, rather than on the big studio system where you're going, okay, this is going to take some balls to even try something here, because if they don't like it, I've just wasted 40 people, 50 people's time.
Yeah.
So yeah, the fun factor of being with your friends, that's a key thing, because we all get into filmmaking purely for that, because we like making things with our friends and doing it. But don't get me wrong, love the studios. Please keep hiring me.
Yeah, love the money.
Yeah, that's it. And you are treated very, very well. But at the end of the day, you do go back to your own hotel room, and that's you pretty much done for the day. You just have to slum it in the spa, you know.
Horrible. Horrible. That was my favorite bit about hearing your Dune, was just the luxury of it. The food, the being on set, the sort of the spa, like going home to a nice fancy hotel. That is nice. It's nice to experience that, but then it's also the adventure of charging off to Greece and making something on your own terms. There's a thrill to that that's different, you know, to the luxury.
100%, especially trying to get the equipment over there. Like that was very much Zak. He was logging everything down to T to put it on the form, get through it. And as we're wheeling through, he veers towards customs, and I do like any normal person. I carry on going. I'm like, I realise I look shifty. I'm not going to be any help here.
The customs man looks shifty. I don't think he'd ever filled a carnet in his life. I'm going over to him with this form and bags, and you need to sign this form. He's like, I don't know what. Just go through it. No, you need to sign this form.
Well, don't use that. Basically, for filmmakers out there, if you're filming in another country and you're taking kit across and you're taking it on a boat, and especially on a boat, you have to fill out a carnet, which is basically, I think it just means like.
Doesn't that mean meat?
No.
It's
like fill out something
like carnivore or
no, it's not that. No, I think it just means what's in your basket. I think it's just like this is your
I'm going to
what
Google
you're
it.
Taking across. Yeah, please do. There might be a version of that means meat, but I hope it doesn't.
No, probably not. But
and you have to fill out all the forms, and if you get one little bit wrong, like one number wrong, or they think you're trying to steal something or take something off, and you have to bring all of it back. So if you lose something over there, it can be a big problem too. You've got everything has to be accounted for that you take over. And then everything has to be counted when you bring it back. And you have to get everything signed properly. So I'm so glad that you went in, Zak, because you could have got to Greece and then they've gone, why is it not signed? That was my Greek accent.
It's really good.
Thank you.
Well, they'll let you
the word carnet comes from the French meaning notebook or book of tickets, originating from the Middle French cornet, a small book of 4 sheets, ultimately tracing back to Latin quaterni, groups of 4. A customs passes for temporary goods or vehicles going back to Latin times. So there we go.
Well, there we go. That was a full explanation of it. Basically, it's a ticket, your ticket to ride, and what is on there to take across to a foreign country, or in this case, that isn't in the EU for us. Basically, if you are in the EU, I don't think you have to do this.
I don't think you do. 'Cause it's all tax based. They'll let you take it in if you don't have everything on there, but they'll treat it as though you're potentially selling it. So you'll have to pay VAT on that item, I think, as you cross the border, and then claim it back when you return.
Wow.
But if you go back to a different country, then you have to pay it all anyway. So it's annoying. It's not as scary as it sounds.
It's just you've got to do it properly. That's all. So it's good that you did that properly. For you then, Zak, like you're shooting stuff in Greece, because I think the film is wonderful, but you've got these two different sides to it. You've got the gritty gangster side of it, and then you've got the more fun, frolicky, let's talk the Greece side of it. And it does veer between the two. For you as a director, choosing when to do, okay, this is going to be the grittier side, and this is going to be the funner side, I suppose. Talk us through your mindset as a director of how you managed to pull it off.
Well, a part of what I wanted to do for making the sides look different was have different lenses on them. So for Greece, we had these Sigma Cine zooms, which are quite clean. I wouldn't say they've got a ton of character, but it's almost like you've gone on holiday and you've taken a picture with one of those disposable cameras, and everything's in focus, everything looks lovely. That's what I wanted out there, to have a kind of neutral feel. And then in London, I wanted a slightly, I don't want to say grittier because the lenses are really nice, but slightly more characterful, blurred edges type look. So we went with these anamorphic hawk lenses. That's
a treat. Hawks are
they're amazing. They're so good. We were very lucky getting them. And realistically, the camera we used was not the right type for it for 2x anamorphics. It was a 17:9 sensor, and you don't really want that.
No,
but it works.
Adaptions on the front, right, to make it work.
No, it'll fit on.
Just really annoying post workflow.
Yeah, because you have to zoom in, otherwise you get a really stretched image like this. Really, you want a taller sensor. But we made it work, and it's still nice. So when it came to the tonality of when we're shifting scene to scene in the script, Roy's done a really good job and made things work. But then in the edit, I kind of wanted to shift a few things around because I thought we've got too much grease here. We need to go back to London, or some of these story elements have to happen at this point, and currently they're a bit later. So we were slightly locked in, and I think I'd have liked to have moved it around a little bit more tonally in the edit, but there's only so much you can do without going back to Greece. So unless someone wants to give us more money to go back to Greece.
Yeah, I know it can be. Or you could have maybe cheated some bits, but it's difficult, isn't it? You kind of and you've got to get your cast back, and they're all busy, and it's kind of you've got those tricky situations. Okay, that's interesting how you managed to make that work. And then in terms of getting the film onto Apple and getting the film onto Prime and getting your distribution and sales, talk us through that, because it is something that can just happen, and sometimes it's a very difficult process. How was it for you?
It literally, it was like one of those canned stories where people just say, "Oh, this happened," but no, it actually did happen. So we were out with you, and we bumped into Lucinda in one of the bars as well. And then Andy came in. I'm saying nothing. Lucinda would she would terrify me. I'm not dead. I know about
great producer.
She is incredible.
Good old Lucinda.
And who walked in? Andy Edwards?
No, Andy Taylor.
Andy Taylor.
Yeah,
from
from
101
Trinity.
Films.
Yeah.
Yes, we were at the bar singing, weren't we?
That was it.
That's right.
And then you and Lucinda introduced us to him. We'd just been introduced to another sales agent in the same bar.
Yes.
And then you and Lucinda,
because they all hang out. In Cannes, there's a bar. They all have one night, especially where they
Morrison's
all hang out together.
Yeah.
Well, I think who was it? It was
one of them was singing, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
And
anyway,
from you guys then introduced us to Andy. We stood there having a chat with Andy, and I just loved his honesty. Like, he stood there for ages with me and Zak, being very honest about the industry and how things are going and what to expect. And we'd met up with quite a few other sales agents while we were out there, and then there was something about Andy where it's just the brutal honesty from a very nice man. You go, no, this works, because we all know there's a lot of sales agents where you have to be very careful, where you're not getting your figures back, things aren't being reported properly. It's an ongoing problem with the industry. So if you find someone that you think, actually, I trust this person, and the fact that you and Lucinda know him as well, so there's a social proof of going, okay, they trust him, they've done amazing stuff. It just goes, without saying, it's like, well, makes sense, let's go with this man.
Yeah, it's 101, and they go under Trinity as their sort of sales arm as well. So they do sell films and they distribute films, and got very much ways of doing it. In terms of that contract then, because it's very important to understand those contracts of sales and distribution and what you're looking for and what the hidden costs could be. And again, this is no slight on sales agents. I mean, we know, as Tony said, there can be
some
ones
slight
out
on
there.
sales agents.
Yeah, but also it is a business. And I've said this before, and I mean it. Like any industry, whether you're selling shoes, it's a business. And if you don't look at your contract correctly because you don't know, because you think your film's the best in the world and everyone should see it, that's on you. And if you don't understand it, then get someone who does to look at it for you. But that's the most important thing.
But I've had lots of debates with fellow filmmakers about this as well, because I kind of feel like if you're indie filmmaker and you're fairly low budget stuff, it doesn't matter how airtight your contract is. When it comes to challenging a sales agents legally on what they're doing or not doing, or whether they're pulling their weight or doing all this kind of stuff, the amount of manpower or womanpower you need to fight that and challenge it, it's, I don't know. I think there's a compromise between looking like you're prepared and making sure that you're coming across as someone that's not going to be like a pushover versus spending a lot of money on the contractual side with something that you're never going to get with. And I also feel like a lot of the sales agent contracts, I mean, Giles has different ways of structuring his contracts, but a lot of it incentivizes sales agents to sell a few territories and then give up on every film, just because of the way that the expenses caps work. And I think the actual systematic nature of that is quite bad for filmmakers in a lot of cases.
Yeah, it's really bad. So let's say, for a quick example, let's say you've got a expensive cap of 10K or 30K.
Or even, let's go 15, 20 to make it.
Yeah,
more,
15,
more
20K, right? So now they've got to sell so many territories until they hit that cap. Once they've hit that cap, well, the split becomes much less for them. Or if they've got up to the point where they've recouped their money, and now it's split 50-50 with the filmmakers. Well, now they're not getting their money up front. They're not getting their 20%, which technically is everything of your first few sales anyway. So what incentive do they have afterwards? So sometimes you've got to give them those incentives and you do a different percentage split. There's many ways you can do it. It's just incentivizing them. And, at the end of the day, there's another film next week that they've just signed that they can make their 20% on. It's just business, and you just got to hope that your film rises above it and does better. But you do have to understand those contracts. You do have to understand what's said.
And also, I think a lot of sales agents are struggling in this day and age. Like, I mean, what you said earlier about like the climate, like a lot of them are struggling to survive. So it's not even like vindictive. A lot of them are just trying to figure out a way to prioritize so that they can stay afloat. But you've got to figure out a system that makes sense for them and you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what did you guys do? To protect yourselves?
we asked you.
Yes, you did.
We said, please, can you read through this contract? Does this make any sense? Because we can read it and say, the words make sense, but does it make sense? Is it fair?
Anyone listening, if you are looking to go for the contract, send it to Giles.
Nope.
He'll read through.
Free phone on
yeah, that's it.
Anytime, 24 hours a day.
Yes, anytime you want.
This is
24-hour reply window.
A lot of people will hear that, and it kind of puts them in that, I don't have a Giles to do that. I can't do this. And it's like when me and Giles, when we were talking to Chuck the other day, Chuck Robin, and he was talking about now when he's doing things and how he can just phone basically these heads of studios and massive people to get there. And it is, you listen and go, I wish I had that. But they don't start with that. You don't start with that. You build your network. You work with people that are doing similar kind of things to you, the people above you, people that are doing less than you, and you basically give back. And then you also work with people that are above you who are going to help you. It's a whole chain reaction. So you can't look and go, I can't do that because I haven't got this person here to guide me. Become that person. Or reach out to someone who is someone you look up to and go, actually, can you help me with this? Because we've learned tons from this. I'd learned a lot from the last films I'd produced as well, even from the Superman one, dealing with execs at Warner Brothers.
Yes.
But from the whole way through that, you are constantly learning and building your own knowledge. And at some point, someone's going to turn around and ask you for advice. And that's when you think, actually, I do know quite a lot already.
Because that's so true.
They Mr. Miyagi you.
Gold Bond knows that things are just better with a little boost. Like your music and your skin. Check out Gold Bond's new Plumping Collagen Body and Face Serum Lotion. It's clinically shown to visibly plump and boost skin hydration by 50%, leaving your skin looking hydrated and more youthful. Turn up beautiful skin with Gold Bond's new Plumping Collagen Body and Face Serum Lotion. Learn more on Amazon.
This episode is brought to you by Beneful. Mornings are when the grind starts. Stretches, immaculate. Cardio, crushed it. Territory, marked. Sorry, geraniums. The dog routine is on point, but it can get a little wolf. That's why I fuel up with high-protein Beneful freshly prepared meals. I'm eating clean with real meat and veggies, served fresh from the pantry. Kick boring in the bowl with Beneful freshly prepared meals. Visit Purina.com/Beneful to shop now.
Yes, and that's great advice. It's so true. And I say this as well, is why should anyone help you? Why should anyone jump on board your bandwagon and your film? Because you haven't done anything yet. Don't presume or expect that people should do that just because you have a script or because you're a director, you want to make something. Go make it, do it yourself, learn, and just try and understand the best you can. There's so many books out there about how to do this now. We've talked about it on the podcast lots, over 500 episodes. Go find it, search them all out, listen to all of them, and there might be some nuggets about distribution and sales in there. But it just search sales and distribution in the on the filmmakerspodcast.com website, and those specific episodes will come up because I've spent time writing those words in just for you, so you
including last year's top 10 episode with somebody that Giles knows.
Yeah, it's Zak Mengum, who is Quantify Sales now. Yeah.
I thought it was another name.
There's a few.
Giles, you're wrong. It's someone else.
Yeah,
in the top 10, I thought there was a different one from last year.
No, Zak was top 10. Yeah, that's sales and distribution. He was at the Exchange, and I think he still is.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
Obviously, we're going to be in the top 10 of 2026, right?
Yeah, just get all your friends to keep listening, or just keep listing over and over, and the numbers keep going up. I think and then maybe you'll be in the top 10 in the end of 26. Let's see. Okay, so you did that. Now, in terms of getting the film out there and seen, and getting that many people to the premiere, and what you're doing about it now, obviously coming on these podcasts, what are you doing? Obviously, tell us how you go. Okay, cool. We now have 101/Trinity. Selling the film around the world. What was the process for you guys to go, okay, well, how do we get this seen?
So I met up with Andy from Trinity, with our exec Murray, and we had a chat about it. And he said, what you can do is have a premiere about a week before the release, and that will get more eyes on it. But that is not an easy thing to do. You don't just have the premiere. So we had to work out all of that, work out costings, work out how many people we'd need to fill the cinema to actually, make it worthwhile. And then that became a mammoth task of all of us messaging, ringing, emailing, hounding everyone we know, hundreds and hundreds of people, to get them to at least look at it, look at the ticket link, and then tell their friends. And it becomes your day job doing that. But once you get that initial wave and you have people watching it and putting reviews in for the film, it becomes a lot easier to get other people to watch it and go and get the digital version. So it's hard work and it's network, but you've got to put it in, otherwise it won't happen by itself.
Yeah, and you had a PR company as well. How did that come about?
Yes, AIM. They are part of Trinity's kind of package that we go with, and
that's good. Okay, that's really interesting, because other distributors, etc., have their own in-house team, and the fact that with Trinity here, they said, okay, yes, but we work with these guys, and that's part of the package. That's really interesting, because I know on 3-Day Signature, they obviously got their in-house, but we brought on our own PR team so that we could do the premiere, we could do it, and that cost us quite a bit of money, whereas yours is in-house, and the money comes from sales.
AIM have been incredible. They'll send us breakdowns in the emails of who they've gone out to, who's picked it up, and direct links. You haven't got to search anything yourself. They got that, and they'll show you the monetary value of what that is and how many people view that. So there's pure statistics we can go through with them, and they are the nicest people to deal with.
Unprecedented.
Honestly, they have been so good. Where we've been able to send them content, that Murray can make some incredible content as well. He sends that to them. They use that. They're very proactive. They speak to us daily. We get emails from them daily.
Daisy and Debbie.
Yep. It's like the BBC interviews we've done so far. They'll be on the Zoom with us as well.
Wow. This is great. Okay, and that's AIM. Because I work with Strike a lot, who are brilliant, but these AIM guys sound like...
It was Itchak I was thinking of, Giles, by the way.
It's Zak, yeah.
Yeah. You were saying Zak. It's been bothering me.
It's pronounced Itzhak, but yeah. Why did you bring that up just now?
He's just happy to be here.
It's been bothering me for the last 5 minutes.
Yep, we both said the same one. That's great.
No, we didn't. Go back and listen to folks. We can have a poll at the end of the episode. You definitely said Zak.
Itzhak. That's
yeah.
That's his name. Itzhak. This is
crazy.
It's
Zak. Okay.
Yeah.
That's how you pronounce his name. It's Zak.
Okay. Well, there we go. Mystery solved.
But there's no mystery.
This has turned into a Netflix documentary.
What happens behind the scenes of a podcast?
God.
That's hilarious. That's really good. So anyway, what were we saying?
So yeah, the premiere bit.
Aim, PR, breakdowns, Murray.
Yeah, when we were sorting out the premiere for it, one of our cast, Alicia, she actually puts in contact with Tyrone, who owns Genesis Theatre. So we managed to get
cinema. Yeah,
that's one. So we managed to get him to help us out arranging the premiere as well. Then we got sponsorship from one of my friends who runs a very large security company.
Great.
Because we thought, if we're going to do it, let's do it to the best of our ability. And it was a 500-odd seater. We went for the biggest screen.
66.
And we ended up pretty much filling the place, which was incredible.
It's big. It's a big cinema to fill.
Yes. Yeah, I've been to screenings where it's not been full, but that was incredible, which meant that you broke even as well because you were selling tickets to the event as well.
Yes. Yeah, that was kind of key for us because it's not cheap putting on the events and getting everything around the event that you need. So
you did. One thing I will say, I've been to many, including lots of film festivals at Genesis, lots of premieres. No one had done the red carpet photo booth looking as professional as you guys did.
So yeah.
Like it's very hard because of the space and where it is to make it look sort of fancy and have like a good system in and out. So no, just something about the way you did it was very good.
So I'm very safety conscious on set, and when we were in Greece, Ash will attest to this. I would cable things up and tape them down out and around the place to make sure no one would trip and die. Because
amongst all your other jobs, you thought, I'll just tape these down?
Amongst all the other jobs, yes.
So look, you've had a really successful sort of transition here. Things have moved really well in the right way, getting, and like say, chance meeting in Cannes. But it's, again, sometimes people say, oh, it's luck, but it's not. It's about being in the right place at the right time and making your own luck around that as well. And I think that's what's really important, what's shown here. Putting on a premiere and going, because you could have spent a fortune on that premiere and...
didn't...
No, but you could have spent like way more than you did. We discussed this. I remember having this conversation and saying, hey, should we go all out for this one? The answer is no, because that press on this one, you've got great photos now that you can use constantly now for the next couple of weeks. Now it's out on digital. It's brilliant. It looks successful as it is. There was people at the premiere, you got lovely photos, and you did it in a really clever way.
I always like that saying, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity.
I was waiting for a pun.
There's no pun, but it's like putting enough of the action in there and having that drive to sort of be open and sort of willing to meet it halfway. And I think those are the kind of the two elements. Like you can't just wait for luck. I think a lot of people are like, oh, I'm waiting for my big break. It's like, well, okay, what are you actually doing in the background? Where's your drive? Where's your like mental image or your mental pattern, or like, I don't know, where are you going towards with your goal? Have you actually got anything that you're doing to support that in your day-to-day activities? And then when something does come along, you're already going in the right direction and it joins you.
It's like the amount of actors I know who will turn around and say, oh, I'm waiting for my agent's call. I'm hoping to get this, I'm hoping to get that. Why are you putting so much of your life and your career on hold, waiting for someone else to do the work you should be doing? Because they're trying to sell you. If you're not doing anything, what are they selling? They've got no heat. They can't generate anything off of the back of that.
Yeah. Whereas you have, Tony, you've gone out there, and this is obviously the other film as well, which you talked about briefly there, that Zak, you were the cinematographer of. Not Dune. That has come out. And you know what I mean? It's like you're progressing, you're making things, you looks like you're going to make a studio movie next time as well now with the company which you've set up, and EIS and SCIS, we've been talking backwards and forwards on this as well in our conversations about how that is set up when you set up the company with Murray, and how things are moving forward massively, and how now you can speak to investors and say, that was our first film, we made it for a very minimal amount of money, below $1 million, and we are now in the position to go, cool, well, with this much money, we can do this, and this is the success we can have. And that's what you do, and that's what you've achieved. And it's pretty impressive. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love that. So in terms of moving forward into your next film, what's the piece of advice? What's the thing you take forward to the next film that you did well? And also the piece that you definitely won't take forward because it didn't do well?
I think partly it's like look at it as a stepping stone. So you can, even if you make mistakes, you get things wrong, you can fix that. Like day to day, we would fix mistakes. So I think one film to the other is not to focus on necessarily one object, but to just improve yourself and listen and learn from people that have done it before. Like we listen to you. We don't just go, oh, Giles said this, but I don't think that's right. No,
well,
listen
he might have done,
people.
Yeah.
I'd say just listen and improve on yourself.
Tony?
To take forward, I think it's definitely listening to the advice around you, because if you're producing, a lot of the time your job is just to bring in a lot of people that are a hell of a lot better than you. But I don't know half of the stuff of what Zak does. Not a clue. And then with the casting directors, you bring them in, they're going to show you all of their knowledge, and you're not expected to know everything. If you know everything, it's ridiculous that you clearly don't.
You're Jesus or something.
Yeah. So just don't pretend you do, because that's one of the main things is a lot of people do try to pretend, and it's very easy to see through. If you don't know the answer to something, just admit it and say, I'll try to find out, or you just go and speak to someone who does know and you build from there. So that's the main advice I'd give people is accept it. Own the fact you do not know everything.
Yeah. Nothing's worse than like pretending you know and then wading through it, and then there's a big disaster you can't fix.
Exactly. But also work with people you trust. Like me and Zak have very, very open conversations. It's almost a running joke at this point. We've got a company bank account. And when we set it up, Barclays basically let Zak have access straight away. It's like they looked at my face and went, we're going to need you to come into the store and actually meet with us. I still haven't got in because I don't need the access to it. I trust Zak. We know what's going on. If I then have to start looking through going, oh, what's happening here?
Yeah,
there's a bigger problem than anything else.
Yeah, there really is. And having that trust is so important, and having belief in the fact that you two have a company together with Murray, the fact that that's already set up, so you've already got a contract with each other, that's part of it. Things can go wrong in filmmaking, as they do in this industry, and you just got to protect yourself. It's like, hey, look, we're in this together. If we fall out and things happen, well, we've got the company, now let's be sensible. Here's how we're going to make it work, because we've already said what the agreements are, and that's all you have to do. But yeah, well done. It's an amazing achievement what you've done, and the film is out now, A Gangster's Life. Do go support. This is how to make an indie film in the right way. Zak Fenning, thank you very much for coming on.
You're very welcome.
Tony Cook, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, my friend, and thank you for everything you've done for us on this journey.
My pleasure. Dom, thanks.
Thank you, Giles.
Absolute pleasure. If you're lucky enough to rise up and do well, it is your duty to
grease the elevator on its way back down.
Yay! We will see you all next. I'm so glad that you got that pun in, because it's nice that we've finished.
He's already marking down how to cut it out. Look,
how to cut out the grease. We will see you all next Tuesday. As always, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for joining. If you want to go and make a film exactly as Zak and Tony, exactly as Zak and Tony have done, you can go do it. Believe in yourself. Go make your film. Make it happen. We'll see you next Tuesday. As always, take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Quite proud of Zak's success. That was a good one.
That's very good.